Hi there, everybody. My name's John Drew from Elevated Planet.
Angela Gabrielle here from Elevated Planet, and we'd like to welcome you to today's show, which is chock full of so much good stuff, and John's going to tell us more about it.
Yes, you know what? I was just talking to Jolie about this a moment ago. There's a lot going on over these next few days. Astrologically, okay? You'd probably be aware of this. I know Faye Ward, who's a member of our community, she sent me the Astro Butterfly, and I do get Astro Butterfly's stuff coming through on email actually, and it's exceptionally good. But it's this thing about, in fact, that's my little printout from it here. But it's the Saturn meets Neptune at 0 degrees Aries, which happens on the 20th of February. So in another 5 days' time, and it's the first time the first time of that this has happened for 6,000 years, and it's a big deal, right? This is a big deal astrologically, and there's a lot of stuff that could kick off the back of this. And it's been interesting to see the number of other people's, because Chris Stiles, who's the human futurist, he also linked me up to a lady called Olga Morales, who uses the New York Stock Exchange natal chart. And there she's looking at, volatility again over these next few days. The 17th ties in, the 17th of Feb, we know, ties in with the solar eclipse, which is the Ring of Fire solar eclipse. And then we've got also the 22nd and the 26th of Feb are also dates to look out for there for that New York Stock Exchange natal chart. So you could, and again, that kind of ties in with what Pam Gregory has been saying a lot about the economic, something is big is going to happen in the economies. I don't know which economy or economies, the scale of it, I don't know, but it's got to be very noticeable. And also Ann Tucker, who said the same thing. And Ann Tucker was also, when she was channeling Isla, the mother of creation, then it was also that great Earth rift, which has been predicted back last August. They channeled this through Anne going back to last August and gave it a 1 year timescale. So this is now halfway through that, and that ties in with the prophecy that came through Kristen Houston from Sophia, Wisdom of Ages, to say that on the 18th of Feb, that great Earth rift in San Francisco is going to happen, and there will be much loss of life. Now, do I think that's really going to happen? No, I don't. But it's interesting how all these things knit together. And I think what Kristen was saying was absolutely from the heart. I don't think she was trying to grab attention or anything like that. That was the message that came through. I believe there was integrity with that, but it doesn't make it true. Okay. We'll find out. I'll be surprised. I'll be very surprised. I'll be shocked if it happens. But nevertheless, it's interesting that we have got so much coming up in a few days. So yeah, and personally, I did an interview with Linda Carden on Friday, and Friday the 13th. We decided to go with the 13 number because we realized this is a very magical number, and it was a very magical interview with Linda as well. Linda was the one who, and I know she's going to be watching today because she does, but she's the one who wrote this book, The New Science of Fitness, and we've covered that before a while ago. But it was a really interesting chat as ever. She's very focused on mind, body, spirit, but also, this overcoming separation within ourselves. And it's really the whole conversation was towards our community. So I'm going to be releasing it this next week. And I encourage you to, from the community, to take a look at it, because we're asking for your input. We're asking for your thoughts. And at the same time, also, Linda's going to do another piece where she goes to her studio, where she does her fitness piece with and again, the mind, body, spirit thing. This is not about a workout kind of thing. It's a Pilates kind of studio, but what she's adapted it to is the whole body, the whole mind, body, spirit experience. And she's going to do us something for Elevated Planet there as well. So that's going to be an interesting little series off the back of that. So I thought I'd throw that out there for starters, because we have a lot coming up in the next few days, or not, as the case may be, because many people look at it and say, okay, well, this could be deluded nonsense, and it could be, and but we will know in the very near future. So let's see how that all plays out. And for today's show, we've got some really fascinating stuff. Elizabeth April, I'm a big fan of Elizabeth April. The more I see her work, the more impressed I am. She's another person who is here on for a very specific purpose, which is to help humanity at this time. And there's so many different kinds of people out there now spreading this message. But again, the integrity with which she comes forth with information, the fearlessness that she shows, because she does put herself in the firing line. Actually, a lot of the times with a lot of the more controversial stuff that she goes in and does her remote viewing on. So good on you, Elizabeth. Big admirers of your work. Thank you for doing what you do. And we've got a little bit of Elizabeth coming up very shortly to set the scene for today's show, as well as a bit of Alan Watts. And then we've got Ming San, who is the Tibetan monk. And that's just kind of like our little holy trinity to start off the show, which gives us the talking points that we want to get to in a moment. And before I do that, I want to just reach out to Jolie. Jolie, anything you
I'm
want to
here.
add apart from the
I'm
fact that,
here.
yeah, apart from the fact, of course, you also are that 0 degrees Aries, right?
Isn't that interesting? Yes, I
Mm,
am 0 degrees Aries. I was born on March 20th. So it's very interesting how it's all coming full circle, it seems like, because I will tell you something. It's almost been as if maybe those that are my, I guess, astro's sake, it's almost like you've been in hibernation for so long and you're ready as that to come out and to like be a part of the world, to share your blessings and gifts with the world. And let's really take the time to let ourselves know, to know for sure. We fail to need these struggle events to move us through this next phase to the 5D level. What it takes is unconditional love, slowing down, taking time with yourself. Spend that 5 minutes a day opening your heart and feeling that feeling and bridging the gap between who you are now and who you want to be. Who you see, what you see around you, this world and universe is the rhythm that it's moving with, and how you collectively, you and I, we want to see it move towards unspeakable beauty. What does that look like? Sit in that energy more so that these events, when they happen, if they happen, they maybe can be mitigated. Maybe they can be lessened because we are flooding love into ourselves and our environment. And this is the way. And I think that's why 0 degrees Aries has come out with maybe to add more fire to the love so that it gets moving, because at this point, I want it to be diluted nonsense. I would like for these weather patterns and earth movements to be of diluted nonsense because we love ourselves, we love Mother Earth, we love fellow man enough to say stop the violence.
yeah, yeah. And it's interesting though, because when we're thinking about the great earth rift, as the mother of creations explained, that is the healing that Mother Earth needs to move forward. And again, but you can't help but think in terms of humanity and the impact of people's lives and things like that. So yeah.
Yes. That's kind of what I mean. And I do hear people are like, this has been going on for millions, thousands, millennia, whatever. I get it. But at the same time, we're quantum. Where are we? Let's work out the dissonance as to, can history be changed? Do we always need to repeat the same patterns over and over again? Isn't that what the 3D is all about, the matrix? Isn't it about breaking out of that? So let's move into the energy of something greater than where we are now. Because I mean, let's be real. I mean, I'm staying away from these so-called Epstein files and all the stuff that's coming out of that. I don't need to hear that. I already knew this. This is what got me here. Things like the Epstein files. So what I'm saying is less of that and more of that doesn't work for us anymore. What
Mm,
works is divine unconditional love, connectivity, empathy, compassion in an organized way that creates enough for everyone.
yeah. Yeah, and I believe the cycle is absolutely about to be broken. It is in the process of being broken, but we have to see this chaos playing out first, and then that's it. You know, we're then creating our world of unspeakable beauty, and I'm all excited about it. And that's the thing
Yes.
I find in myself at this moment. You know, even though I hear like the Prime Minister's been on today saying that that Great Britain is going to go to war, you know, as part of the NATO alliance against Russia and things like this, and to me, I just shrug it off. Right?
Mhm.
It doesn't impact me. I can kind of find that neutrality, and I think that's a key thing here. It's not that you don't care; it's that you see it for what it is. It's part of the
Absolutely.
old 3D matrix playing itself out, and it has to happen. You know, it's all in divine order, whatever it
Exactly.
looks like.
And that's exactly what our show is about today. We have energies and people speaking about how to deal with this because it's there. You have to understand. And another thing, these demons are so clever that it's also a psyop to get your brain manipulated in a certain way. So stay away from the dirt. Stay, head for the gold, head for the light, because this is a distraction to get you away from loving yourself, loving your environment, trusting all of the goodness that makes things grow is being kind of stifled. So stay learning, stay open, stay expansive, and let that die.
100%. 100%. Should we leap in and get the first little holy trinity of wisdom up there?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, everybody. So hang on to your hats. It'll be starting with Elizabeth April in a moment, and we're going to switch screens. Thank you.
All right, hear me out for a second. Let me blow your mind. Right now, we are shifting from one dimension density into another. Some people call it 5D to 3D, 3D to 5D. But let me just break it down really simply right now. We are moving from a polarity state into a non-linear state. Essentially what that means is that before we had space and time to walk through, to exist and to experience. We had the past and the future. But no longer is that going to be the case. Right now, we are experiencing a polarizing state of being. We are experiencing both darkness and light, both the left and the right, both having and have-notting. And in that way, we are actually being pushed to purge out the polarity, to experience the different sides, essentially, of the same coin. And eventually, when we experience the linear state of the past and the future, of the dark and the light, of the left and the right, we get to a place where we understand that both need to coexist simultaneously in order to make up the foundation of this reality. So in order to truly master this reality, we not only need to observe both states of being, but we actually need to experience both states of polarity. And then once you get to a place where you've experienced the darkness, but you've also experienced the light, what more is there? There is a state of equanimity, which essentially means that you are aware of all states simultaneously without an attachment to one or another. And see, that's the key to truly mastering the nature of this reality. As long as we can observe both sides, or all emotions, or every single lifetime, or both sides of politics. As long as we can observe that without any sort of attachment to it, then we can get into a place of neutrality or 0-point frequency. When we're in that place, we become conscious creators of the reality around us, not just simply victims of circumstance. So, my question to you is, are you going to continue to attach yourself to one identity, one belief system, or one side of polarity? Or are you going to choose to go ahead and step back, question everything, and observe both states, both sides simultaneously, without attachment or aversion? Once you get to that place, there's nothing stopping you.
Jesus, you see, did not come to earth to try and start a religion. What he really came for was this. His earliest followers were called the Way. Not a doctrine, but a direction. meaning that they were following a path. And one of the most radical things Jesus ever said was this: the kingdom of heaven is within you. Not later, not after death, but here, now. And what he was pointing to was not worship of a person, but recognition of a presence, a living, breathing relationship with the divine, not through fear, but through awareness. After his death, however, institutions formed. And institutions, by their nature, seek control. So the message was subtly shifted from "you are one with God" to "God is separate and you must earn your way back." But the original invitation remains unchanged. When you step beyond dogma and listen deeply, you were never meant to follow a religion. You were invited to wake up, to realize that the divine you seek has been quietly living within you all along.
You breathe the wrong way, my friend, and slowly it ages your body without you even knowing. I am Ming San, a monk from a monastery high in the Tibetan mountains. When you breathe short and shallow, which most people do all day, you activate your stress response. Cortisol floods your body, inflammation builds, and cells age faster. But when you breathe the way I am about to show you, the opposite happens. Your nervous system calms, your cells repair. Aging slows at the deepest level. Here is the method. Breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. Make sure your belly expands, not your chest. Hold for 7 seconds. This is where the stillness does its work. Your blood absorbs more oxygen than normal breathing allows. Exhale through your mouth for 8 seconds. Slow and controlled, like you are blowing through a straw. This is called 4-7-8 pattern. Do it 4 times in a row, twice per day, morning and night. Within 1 week, your sleep can deepen. Within 1 month, blood pressure can drop. Within 1 year, you will have aged less than those around you. The monks here have used this for centuries. Now it is yours.
And we're back. So a powerful little holy trinity there for starters. And the Ming San thing at the end there, I love that 4-7-8. And I've been trying this now, because having recorded that a few days ago, I find it really quite powerful, and exactly as he describes it. Now, I think that because we're all different, you can have your own variety of that. If you've got a bigger lung capacity, you might want to draw in air for longer. You may want to keep that, change your numbers of 4-7-8 to something that suits your physiology. But, you do feel that oxygenation. In fact, I tried it the other day. And I have to be sitting down when I'm doing this, because if you're standing up, I tried it standing up, and you start getting dizzy, right? So it's kind of like you just got to be a little bit careful. But it really does. It kind of elevates you. I got this picture like I was under the ocean, and I could see the pebbles at the bottom, and it was beautiful. It was clear, and I was underwater, not needing to breathe. It was just, this is all just as a result of this breathing technique. It was beautiful. So anyway, I recommend you sit down when you do this and see how that works for you. And what I love about it is the simplicity of it. There's nothing complex about this. 4-7-8. And they're, so easy to try, so easy to repeat. And and the Ming San thing, I'll mention this as Jolie as well, because she was the one who said that Ming San actually is AI, which is really interesting, because when I first looked at him, I was kind of thinking, okay, well, as a monk up in the Himalayas, is not quite as I expected, but it was beautiful, right? The whole imagery is beautiful. The words spoken, absolute wisdom, integrity, joy, happiness. It's just radiating from him. But I love it. It just goes to show really that, when AI is put to good use like that, that it can really help to elevate the whole message that's coming across. So yeah, interesting. And then of course Alan Watts with his truth beyond religious dogma, and I think that makes absolute sense. And I think that a vast majority of people who watch this video will agree with that as well. I mean, not entirely, I'm sure, because a lot of people who are very steeped in their religion are very, can be defensive of that, and there's nothing wrong with, to my mind, religion has a really good place in terms of creating community, heart-based community, right? And as long as you're not sort of saying that your religion is the religion, you can open up, and some of the religions have gone in this direction of actually opening up to other religions as well. But the answer is everything lies within. The kingdom of heaven is here. We don't need all these distractions outside of us to get there. That's the power of the message, much like the other Alan Watts that we've focused on a few times, which is about where we feed our energy. Don't feed your energy to the problem, because you are feeding the machine that is creating the problem. And there are those that love that energy. They love your energy. They want your energy. Therefore, they create the outer world that puts people into fear, anger, division, hatred, whatever you want to call it. And that is feeding them. They literally feed off that from their fourth dimensional perspective. But as we know, once we get towards that fifth dimensional energy on a regular basis, there's the fourth dimensional folks who are out there that are trying to do this kind of stuff cannot exist in that domain. So we're going to be leaving them behind. Then coming back to Elizabeth. And again, it's all about understanding that everything is shadow and light. Okay. We're here at the Earth School. We're here for soul lessons. We are some of the most courageous souls in the entire multiverse to actually come to Earth School, because it is one of the most difficult, because the veil of forgetfulness descends. We don't realize that we're godlings, right? We don't realize we're cells in the body of God. That's something that we have to discover as we carry on through our journey. And that is why, a lot of people are still to awaken to this yet. And, yes, we can be those bridge builders that help people to if people have been studying this, because when I was talking to Linda Carden the other day, she's been doing what she's been doing now for 40 years. But the whole point is that she's now a bridge builder who can help other people to achieve, to understand what she has learned over 40 years, to actually understand it in a relatively small amount of time. That's it. You are creating the path to move forward. And so what Elizabeth is saying about the shadow and the light and the observation, but maintaining that equanimity, right? Where you are neutral and that 0 point frequency, because you can observe, okay? So you can observe these things, but you don't take a side, right? You're just looking at it play out. But at the end of the day, once again, you don't want to feed your energy into the system, and it doesn't stop you from being compassionate and responding in ways that you can help to circumstances when, people are suffering. There's certainly nothing wrong with that. But nevertheless, maintaining that equanimity and understanding that all is in divine order. This is exactly how it is supposed to be playing out. So don't get too caught up in the drama. Just allow yourself to get onto, as Pam Gregory says, that eagle's perch, and just view everything playing out, knowing it is this that is helping us to get to the fifth dimensional world of unspeakable beauty. And everything has to have shadow and light. And the brighter the light is going to shine, the darker the shadow has to be, because everything comes back into that divine balance as per universal law. So yeah, it all serves a purpose. That is the thing to remember. And with that said, Jolie, can I bring you back in, please, for your thoughts?
Yes, it's interesting. You spoke about that 0 point, and Elizabeth did, and the neutrality. And the thing I was going through my mind while you were talking was that we are so powerful. We can choose whatever emotion we want to feel at any moment. It doesn't have to look how it has always looked. And there's so much information on the internet as to how to make that happen, meaning the words to say, behaviors, places to go. So we have so much love already there for us to take hold on. So when we get to that 0 point through our meditation, whatever it is that we do, let's come out of it knowing that we can choose because we're the answer.
Mm.
All around us, all these greats have told us the answer dwells within us. The light is in you. So I really believe that at this time, with all the conjunctions and this and that, and what's going on in society and the time frame, this is the time to really sit in love and neutrality, as she has spoken about before, and feel those emotions you want to feel in the place that you may be in the present moment. Because what are you trying to do? We're not trying to do anything. We're flowing to the 5D. So what we've got to do is just flow with that energy of the quantum.
Mm. Mm.
That faith, that belief, that neutrality. What does that look like? That looks like you just keep doing what you're doing. The things that light you up, make you happy, the things that show even just a tweak of the light or a tweak of transformation, just staying right there.
Yes. Yes. And again, that presence and stillness thing is so important as well. And I know Eckhart and his wife Kim Eng talk about this a lot. This is really what they're driving us towards and helping. Like with this teacher of presence thing that I'm working on at the moment. And it was interesting the other day. I think it came from there, and they were saying that like as humans, we're kind of trained to be fearful of what's coming in the future, concerned and worried about the past and what's happened in the past. And what we're doing there is we're taking our consciousness and we're spreading it out from the past into the future, and therefore you're kind of working it thin. But what can happen in reality is when you get into that now moment, you pull it all together. And that enables you to then move upwards because you've got all that consciousness energy just moving forwards and upwards at that time. That is the power of the now moment, because now moment is all we've ever got, right? But this is all the distractions that encourage us to kind of think to the future, worry about the past. Bringing it there whenever we can helps us to elevate, because we're bringing all that consciousness energy together into one moment.
Yes. That's beautiful. Staying present. And how how do I do that? Ground your energy. That is the way to stay present. And breathing. Breathing really helps us to stay in the present, in that we have to do it at the present moment all the time. So it's a great buoy to keep us grounded in our bodies and focused.
Yes. Yes. And we got a bunch of messages that have come in. So thank you to the community. Thank you, Kit, Karina, and Donna for being with us today. And
Yes,
also
thank
we've
you.
got Sean the Shaman now as well. She's with us.
Ah,
So
thank you.
Karina said, first one she mentioned was, Jolie, you mentioned a psyop. The key to a psyop is that people believe they are choosing freely while their options and interpretations have already been structured for them. Right.
Thank you for that
Yeah,
definition.
yeah, that's powerful. And also, she said, we are becoming more and more aware of them, and we are, right? That's it.
Mhm.
This is what part of the awakening process
Exactly.
is, seeing the manipulation for what it is, and that's where the presence and stillness comes in, because that's when you're bringing it into the now moment, and you're just like, yeah, and you're reaching out to your higher expression, to your higher self, and to your team. They're all coming through with the information which points you in the right direction. And she also said, I love that. We are cells in the body of God. Yes, I love
Yes.
that. And Sean the Shaman says, wow, right on target with all the messages I've been receiving from the universe. Incredible show, you guys. Thank you. And that is very, very kind. And yeah, and Sean, in fact, again, I think we mentioned it last week. We're talking about, it was, was it who said, it might have been, was it Faye or was it Karina talking about, I think it was Karina actually, you were talking about light language. And I think she channels light language. Apologies if I get the wrong person onto that, but certainly Sean the Shaman, she's I've seen her work with the light language, and it is amazing. It's amazing. These amazing coded messages that just come through that are a real language, even though you can't interpret it. It's amazing. And it's amazing that a lot of people are starting to get that now.
Yeah. That expansiveness, of knowing that there's really not limits and boundaries on language, on sound, on light. We're learning that we're beings of limitlessness. And it's being shown to us, even in the medical field lately, there's been medical breakthroughs for like colon cancer and diabetes. And we are transcending what we thought we could do, who we thought we were. So
Yes.
let's just ride the surfboard. Let's just keep going there.
Yes. And that's a really good lead into the next section as well, of course, because that healing side of things, which we know, again, there's been so much suppression over the last decades and 100 years or so of all these medical things. But nevertheless, we are learning to transcend it because it's about stepping into our power. And
Right.
again, we're going back to Sara Landon this time, right? About the healer. And we're going to learn, because basically this is the 11 roles, spiritual roles of those who are here now to bring to humanity, to help humanity at this time of change. And number one of those 11 is the healer, which is the one which takes the longest time, which is why we've decided to focus on it for a Sunday, because we're going to do, Jolie and I are going to do a series of videos, and they'll be quite short videos where we cover off the other 10, but we will put them on our channel, maybe one a week or something like that, and invite people to come in and offer their, perspective. What does it mean for them, each of these roles? Because, I know, having gone through, I know which ones resonate to me. I know which ones I kind of think, that one's not me, right? But it's interesting when you start to listen to these things. So what do you think, Jolie?
Yes, it's time to proceed.
Right. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to, oh yeah, and Karina did say yes. So I think that was her that is doing the light language as well. So anyway, maybe we'll need to get some light language channeled on Elevated Planet before too long. We'll get that done because it is fascinating. Anyway, we're going to switch screens again, and we're going to get you back to Sara Landon and her channeling of the council for that healer aspect of her new book. Bear with me a second.
Spiritual role number 1, the healer. The first role is the important role of the healer. Those who are healers came forth into the human experience to be healers of humans and animals and the earth and the water and the land. The healers have come to help humanity heal, both mentally and physically, as well as emotionally and spiritually. As young children, many healers wanted to be doctors, nurses, or veterinarians when they grew up. They had a natural calling to help people and animals. As children, healers often felt drawn to the needs of others. As healers grow up, they often consider themselves to be very sensitive or empathetic toward others. As adults, healers might find themselves in professions where they are indeed doctors, nurses, and veterinarians, or therapists, Reiki practitioners, acupuncturists, or in environmental jobs focused on animals or nature. While a person might be successful in their career, they might feel a deeper calling to heal or help in even greater ways. Many healers have no official job title related to these careers, but awaken to abilities such as remote or energetic healing. There are many different modalities of healing, and we will go into them in much greater detail. For many healers, their own experience of mental, physical, or emotional pain or disease has guided them to their role. It's common for someone to discover their path as a healer after some time because of their own life experiences. Their own path to healing likely inspired the discovery of or interest in different healing modalities and techniques. The awareness of the spiritual role of the healer and how your life experiences have led you to remember your gifts can be very powerful and transformational. You might now see that your pain or illness was leading you to your passion to heal yourself and others. Once you begin to heal yourself, you can then hold the light and vibration for others to heal themselves too. The spiritual role of the healer does not require a formal certification or educational degree. Many healers have an innate knowing that they are here to bring healing to the planet and have amassed their healing gifts and abilities long before incarnating in this life. While some healers do perform physical healing through their abilities, those who have a spiritual role as a healer most often do so through vibration and light, whether they are aware of it or not. They understand their human aspect is not the one that does the healing, but they hold a vibrational frequency that allows the other to realize their own healing and infinite well-being. Some of you may consider yourself very sensitive or as empaths. This is often because you are carrying the healing light. You are tuned into the healing light, and you're here to be healers. Healing is a process allowing one's own vibrational frequency to elevate to a new level where they can receive their own light, which allows the body, mind, and heart to align to a natural state of well-being. The healer understands the powerful role they play, creating a portal to source energy that allows healing to occur through the raising of one's vibration. This vibrational frequency ignites the process of regeneration and rejuvenation and restores one's alignment to infinite well-being. The most conscious, impeccable healers know that each person has the power within them to heal. You are all your own greatest healers. However, most people on earth currently are not awakened to their power and do not believe in their ability to heal their own bodies. As healers, you come forth to help them remove the blocks to their own self-healing and to hold the light so that their own healing can come through to them. Oftentimes, doctors and nurses understand that a patient does not believe they have the power to heal themselves. In that case, the doctors and the nurses are also healers. They are also playing a role. As you understand the spiritual role of the healer, you have the opportunity to do so in the most impeccable way, intentionally and consciously. Not all spiritual beings are healers. Some listening will not identify with this spiritual role because it doesn't resonate with them or they aren't called to the description we have shared. It might not be your active or dominant role, but you all possess the ability to play all 11 of the spiritual roles and will in time through your expansion of consciousness and natural evolution. You can begin to appreciate the importance of the healer in the world, the ultimate state where you are all transcending to, where the great awakening will lead you, is knowing that you are all your own greatest healers. You will remember how to tune into your inherent ability to align, heal, regenerate, and rejuvenate your body long before any disease or ailment is manifested in the body. In time, you will also remember that when you are ready to leave the physical plane and transition into higher levels of consciousness beyond form, you can do so in a beautiful, harmonious way without contracting a disease or suffering decay or destruction of the body. You will simply take your last breath and release the body as you re-emerge back into your eternal state of bliss, love, and peace. Until then, do not push against the limited structures in place at this time. If you think that you need to change the healthcare system, you don't. You just need to shine the light on a better way, be the bridge to a better way. If you are passionate about this, you are likely here to play the spiritual role of the healer. There is another important aspect to the spiritual role of the healer and all of the spiritual roles. You might be wondering if it is wrong to receive money for playing these roles, and we assure you, it is not. This tends to be a programmed belief within many who consider themselves spiritual. There is nothing wrong with being an abundant healer and receiving an energetic exchange in the form of money for the gifts and resources that you have and share. Everyone's gifts, talents, and abilities are spiritual. Every profession is spiritual, from a janitor to an accountant to a doctor to a technician. They are offering a skill or ability in exchange for the resources they need. It is the same with your spiritual roles. There must be an energetic exchange. Some healers are aware that this is their spiritual role, while others might be discovering it as they hear this. In life, you might be feeling overly sensitive or deeply empathetic toward others, but not understand why. This might be a clue that you are a healer who hasn't discovered or remembered the role you are here to play. The first step is to make the shift from labeling yourself overly empathetic or too sensitive to consciously and intentionally stepping into your role as a healer. In all cases, the healer must first awaken to their own transformation into well-being. For most, this is a journey. However, the important first step is the awareness. From there, you begin to allow your powerful remembering to guide you to experience your own well-being and then fully embody your gift. Are you a healer? If you are, we invite you to step into the power that you have within you to bring forth healing to humanity, the planet, animals, and the natural world. You are here at this time for a very important reason, and you make an incredible contribution to the Great Awakening.
And we're back. So I do love that book. I think it is really good and really enjoying covering off the other 10 points as well, because I think the nice thing about doing this as a community is that it's a time for reflection and also for sharing. You know, again, don't hesitate to put in the comments and all the rest of it. And I appreciate the comments that have been coming through as well, which is great. Really, truly appreciate that. But the point made by Sarah, you know, that many are driven to their role through suffering, you know, things that have happened to them that makes them the healers that they now become. And it just, again, comes back to, say, life planning, okay? We knew when we came in here that we were going to be healers, but in order to be good healers, you must have experienced the issue that you're going to heal. So you heal yourself first. And I know that Karina mentioned that as well. It's very much about you start off by healing yourself, because we are healers. I remember, I might have mentioned this before, but I had this thing about 3 years ago, something like that, and I tore a muscle in my hamstring, I think it was, and you could hear the rip when it happened, and I could barely walk. I mean, I really couldn't put any weight on it at all, and I knew it was going to be like a 6-week turnaround. And I decided, because I'm, you know, sufficiently down this track now, to think, you know what, I think I can make a difference here. So all I did, I started to create a vision of the muscle and the fibers knitting together and thinking how beautiful it was, and sending love and sending joy and happiness to the wound itself, and just knowing it was going to get better quickly. And a week later, it was like it had never happened. And I thought, my goodness, it really does work. So that's right. That was like an example, but it's an empowering example for me, because I know that it actually does work. Focused intention is such a huge thing. But people need to have gone through it. And I know people in our community who are here today would say, oh, yeah, I struggled with this. This was my real challenge in life with these things here. I've come through it. And now they're in perfect position to be the healers of that going forward, to help those other people. It also made me think, actually, there's something called Bowen therapy, which you may well be familiar with. was started, I think it was a British guy who created this, naturally called Bowen, who moved to Australia and took the whole thing with him and created Bowen therapy. And it's all, in fact, I've got a book here, which is all about this Bowen kind of stuff. And what it's about is a fascia kind of thing where, you know, by just literally touching an area, the healer can draw the body's attention to. So it's not what the healer does. It's just through you using this technique, you can bring the body's attention to an area that needs healing in a very specific way. So it's kind of to the point that was made here within this piece. What the healer is doing is alerting the person themselves on how to heal themselves and have the faith and trust in healing themselves. Because again, the point is made, you know, we're programmed and conditioned to believe that we have to look outside of ourselves for healing. We got a whole, you know, doctors, we've got nurses, we've got healthcare practitioners, and we've got pharmaceutical drug companies, we've got hospitals, we've got all this kind of infrastructure, a lot of which is really good because it, you know, if I'm going to break a leg, I'm not going to be able to do it just through just imagining it knitting together in the perfect way. I need to be sorted out properly there, you know, with somebody who can set that and cast it properly. And, you know, the doctors and nurses do a fantastic job, but they are, I believe, starting with a limited knowledge of the truth behind how powerful we are. And this is where it's taking us. And it's not like, as Sarah said, you know, don't think that you have to mend a broken healthcare system. You just got to be the alternative. You're the one who is creating the new. Yeah. You know, the secret of change is to focus all your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. So once you start to build the new, which many people have been doing now for several years, you know, I know that we've got healers in our community, many healers, including Jolie. You know, it's really empowering when you start to realize that, again, you know, as with all things, the kingdom of heaven lies within, so does our healing ability lie within. But at the same time, we're all unique pieces of a cosmic jigsaw puzzle. So everybody will lean into certain aspects of those 11 spiritual roles. Okay. And again, as Sean the Shaman said, yeah, there would be 11, wouldn't there? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You got to get to those magical numbers, right? But it's once you start to realize that these are your gifts, and you can, now is your time to step forward and bring this to humanity. And also be aware that when you do bring that, there is an energetic exchange which says that you can get paid for this, and you should get paid for this. In fact, you should get paid for this, because this is an energetic exchange. If it only goes in one direction, that is not an energetic exchange. You're providing the energy of healing, you should be paid, which is why, you know, and again, I kind of put myself on exactly to that point, which was mentioned there, is that a lot of people who do these kind of things really don't feel like you should get paid. You feel guilty about the fact that you might get recompensed for doing this because it's spiritual work. That's not the truth, right? What the Sarah and the council are saying is the truth, which is there should be an energetic exchange, and you can have an abundant healer. You can be the healer that you are meant to be and be abundant at the same time, right? There is nothing wrong with that. That is a beautiful thing, because that abundance then enables you to reach more people. And, you know, what could be better than that? So I think that is a really important thing to consider. And the other thing I'll mention before bringing Jolie in as well, this death process, as it was put, moving beyond form. I do believe we will get to a stage where we can live much longer. In fact, this was a conversation that Linda Cardin and I had the other day. That Linda was saying, you know, we limit ourselves by the fact that we're so focused on aging, on our inability to do things now because we've got older. Whereas in reality, again, that is a mindset that is created through the conditioning and programming. Once we loosen off those shackles and start to live to our full potential, we could live for hundreds of years. And in fact, in conversations with God, that's what God said. Is, look, you think I would really create something as imperfect as that? That just, you know, this is a program that we're running, okay? And I know that in our life plans, we will have exit points mapped in, some to go during disasters and things like that, because that's what we wanted, because then we come back at a later time for new earth. And some people live to be a ripe old age. So, but being able to leave the body, because we are now get into that higher dimensional energy, into the love, into the heart, into the kindness, into the compassion. This is when you're going to get this longevity kind of thing coming back in, because our program beliefs, all those filters have dropped away, and we get back to that pure light that we are. Then we can live as long as we desire to live, right? That'll be a say, well, now I'm ready. Now I'm ready to exit this time around and go back home. Yeah, absolutely. You do it with grace and you do it with ease. So I think that is a really interesting thing, and I do believe that is true for our future. Now, that said, I'm going to shut up now because I want to bring Jolie back in for her thoughts and wisdom.
I agree. And, and the other side of that is these transhumanists and their cryogenically freezing and things like movies like The Island that show you how people have clones and so the technology is already there. It's just the fact of the matter is there's a way for light-based beings to do that without all of the accoutrements that may be shutting the climate, the environment, and us down. Another thing is, where do you begin if you're a healer? How do I know? First of all, you'll know because Sara Landon spoke about the empathy that you have for others, for nature. And sometimes people may mistake your kindness for weakness. I also want to mention briefly about Eve Lorgen and how she and her belief that a narcissist and an empath get together to create that chaos that then creates energy harvesting. So as an empath, the way to avoid sort of narcissistic energies is to always start within. Always go within and work on yourself first and foremost. That's the key. How do I begin with that? The chakras is a wonderful place to begin. For those of you that are like, that's too much for me, diet and nutrition are such a great way. I mean, the simplest way to go quantum sometimes, because as your physical form starts to transform, the mind had to go first. So that's just a science-based way of kind of going quantum or learning the energy of that. But I believe the chakras are very helpful in seeing the different parts of your body and the way that they move. Understanding if you have lumbar issues, right? I don't feel safe. Being able to work and dig into that, that's where the gold is at. So when you're a healer or you feel like I may be, where do I start? Start within. And then always Mother Nature embraces that work. So spend some time there really helps you move the needle forward as well.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's fascinating stuff. But do you think, because time is moving on, do we move on to our meditation?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Let's do
thank
that.
you. Thank you, Jolie. That's brilliant.
Thank you, John.
And we are going to switch screens again. We've got a little treat for you here. Anybody who watched the Thursday meditation may have got a bit of a heads up on this because we played it then as well, because it's so worth sharing, because this is going to help to lead us into Jolie's words of wisdom and guided meditation. It comes from Mindset Vibration. And here we go. Bear with me a second.
So one of my favorite stories is in a mother's womb where two babies, and one turns to the other and says, "Do you believe in life after delivery?" And the other replies, "Why, of course, there has to be something after delivery. Maybe we're here to prepare ourselves for what will be later." "Nonsense," said the first. "There's no life after delivery. What kind of life would that be?" "I don't know," said the second, "but there'll be more light than here. Maybe we'll walk with our legs and eat with our mouths. Maybe we'll have other senses we can't understand now." First goes, "That's ridiculous. Walking is impossible, and eating with our mouths, that's absurd. The umbilical cord is what scientifically supplies nutrition and all that we need, but it's far too short. Life after delivery is to be logically excluded." And the second says, "What if it's just different than it is here? Maybe we don't need that physical cord anymore." The first goes, "Okay, if there were life after delivery, then tell me, why has no one ever come back from there? Delivery is the end of life, and in the after delivery is nothing but darkness and silence and oblivion. It takes us nowhere." And the second says, "But certainly we'll meet Mother, and she'll take care of us." The first goes, "Mother? You actually believe in Mother? If Mother exists, where is she now?" And the second goes, she's all around us. We are of her. It is in her that we live. Without her, this world would not and could not exist. And the first says, I don't see her. It's only logical that she's not here. To which the second replied, sometimes when you're in silence and you really listen, you can perceive her presence. You can hear her loving voice calling down from above.
Take a deep breath in and exhale. Relax your body. You're safe. Put your feet flat on the floor, your palms face up on your thighs. And for those of you laying down, please keep your feet flat for the beginning part of the meditation. As you breathe with the rhythm of your body, bring your awareness to your chest. And one of the first things we're going to do is ground our energy. And we're going to ground from a heart-centered space. So from this place in the center of your chest, create a beautiful grounding cord of a natural earth element. And see it creating itself as it moves down through your lower chakras, lighting up that spine and that nervous system, moving down between the space of you and Mother Earth, as it then goes gently through the crust, moving down, 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 and reaching the core and spreading its roots and its wings into her as she welcomes you into her loving arms and asks, what do you need? So take a moment and kiki with Mother Earth, just talk to her, let her know what you need. And of course, share so much gratitude with her. And listen, she has so much wisdom. Take it all in. See those golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles that are blanketing the inside and the outside of your grounding cord. And from the heart all the way down to the very tippy tip of your roots, these are working on your behalf to clear out traumas, toxins, negative thoughts, limiting beliefs, pain, and bringing in wellness, a divine perception and perspective of who you are and the earth around you, the universe, bringing in so much love, so much joy and laughter, reality, along with just spirituality, quantum energy, helping you see, feel the limitlessness that you are, cleaning off your belief system and thinking you are just a simple person. You're so much more. And now pull your aura in to be 1.5 feet around you. Call your higher self back above you to stand at the power position, a comfortable distance above your crown, as you snap in that astral body and absorb all of the lessons and the information that it gathered while it was out when you were sleeping. So breathe and take it all in. The beauty of you, the magnificence that you possess, as you now visualize the bottoms of your feet opening like the lens of a camera, as you call in 15% earth energy of a color that resonates with you. It begins to pool in the bottoms of your feet. It's so warm and loving and living waters as it moves up the side channels of your legs, medial, and lateral. How big is your channel? Get into the details as it travels up your leg. And when it gets to the knees, your crown opens. Feel and see your crown open, and that beautiful golden cosmic life force energy comes cascading down like a beautiful waterfall, gently raining on your higher self as it focuses its stream and it comes into your crown. And just feel that energy as it just begins to solidify the grooves that align you with your purpose, that align you with your positive life force energy, your success, your excellence, your ability to power up the laws of the universe within you and receive. And all of the other ones that fail to support this journey of bliss begin to smooth over, creating new pathways for more joy and for more abundance. As that energy then cascades down the neck, balancing those hormones. Remember, we're to feel every emotion and make the choices that support our journey. So as this gold light deals with our hormones in the highest and best way, that pineal, that endocrine system, the amygdala, it's still pulsating, communicating, opening up that portal between the center of the head and the heart as this gold light cascades down the arms, down into our carriage, our chest, our stomach, and it meets with that earth energy. And as we are breathing with the rhythm of our bodies, and this energy is flowing through us, it begins to fill us up like water fills up a cup. And it pumps, and it pumps, and it pumps, opening up our hand chakras, opening up our heart chakras, sprouting out the side of our crown, bottoms, the sides, the bottoms of our feet chakras. And it's just flooding our aura layer with so much love, joy, bliss, and purpose, removing that polarity and allowing us to feel all things simultaneously at once. You are boundaryless, you are limitless. Breathe into the energy of the quantum and allow for it to immerse you in its wisdom as you open your heart and you allow for this energy to just blast into your aura layer and just saturate it so much that it just fails to exist. It becomes one with. And now, again, you are nothing, you are no one, and you are nowhere. Now is the time to choose. As you see yourself living, breathing, and moving in your purpose, the one that has you sitting in unspeakable beauty, feeling that energy. Remember, you're boundless, you're limitless. Sitting, standing, flying, all of it is all one. You are one with this vision. Get into the details of your unspeakable beauty, transforming and healing, knowing that when you come back and you reformulate back You are well. You are prosperous. You are safe. You are unconditionally loving. You are a divine being of light and blessings. So breathe gently. Exhale. Breathe in gently. Exhale and hold the vision of your most loving and highest good and purpose. Walk in it, the limitlessness. Feel it while you visualize yourself and your excellence, your prosperity, your success, your empathy, your intelligence, your wisdom, your knowledge, your beauty, your love. And as you hold this vision, knowing that you are limitless, the body is breathing. The body, the physical is breathing. Breathing in all this limitlessness. And we're going to focus and breathe in for a count of 4. We're going to hold it for a count of 7. And we will exhale for a count of 8. At your own pace, and while you are holding this vision, I want you to breathe this way 4 times. Gently and with love for who and what you are and have become. While this earth energy and divine cosmic life force energy, golden in whatever color resonates with you, that 85% and 15 means you are a golden being of light with the rainbow of colors prisming through your body, through your quantum, through the energy. So as you reformulate yourself back into your body and you give the boundless energy that you are boundaries, give them the boundaries, make it count, the ones that you wanted to have. Answer the question, who am I? I bring in light. I reformulate with blessings and gifts. I am made of love and compassion. My heart is filled with forgiveness for myself and my environment. My stomach provides nurturing and wellness for my body, and it laughs and spreads joy. My legs, they move me towards enlightenment and prosperity and sustainability of my environment, and my arms foster creation. They connect with my fellow man and Mother Earth. And my mind focuses on more ways to expand love and to give just as much as I receive in the most loving and best way. And my nervous system guides me because it feels safe on this journey. And my intuition is directly connected to the divine. And on this journey, I am a joyful, blissful being, expansively spreading unconditional love all around me. Success is my birthright. Abundance is who I am. So take a deep breath in and exhale. Relax. Give yourself an energetic hug of warmth and support. As you take another deep breath in, on the exhale, gently close your feet chakras and see that earth energy recede, staying just right there at the bottoms of your feet, feeling like nice, wet, and squishy grass that's there for you at any moment. If you don't like that feeling, maybe you can just hover above. You're going to take another deep breath in. And on the exhale, close your hands and your heart chakra gently and allow for all that goodness to settle within. Creativity just bursting forth from you. There's so much love. As you take another deep breath in, this belly breath, and on the exhale, you're going to close your crown like the lens of a camera and allow for that golden cosmic life force energy to ascend back into the heavens at just the perfect distance to always be accessible to you. Take another deep breath in. And on the exhale, you can open your eyes.
Love it. Thank you.
Thank you. It was nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful. I love the love and laughter, actually. It's as well, I think it's so important, to realize that we're here on this journey to have fun, right? To realize how powerful we are, but to love the journey. And, love and laughter are a huge part of that.
Yes.
And, I think that's where we're heading. It's going to be a beautiful thing. So thank you, Joe.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you. It's an honor, truly.
So we're going to go into wrap up mode now.
Yes.
Start off by saying thank you to everybody in the community who's joined us today and everybody who will join us on the recording. Do feel free to drop us any messages or anything that you care to through, you can go through email johndrew@elevatedplanet.life or through our website, which is elevatedplanet.life. And then if you go into the contact page, there's a free format contact box there, and you can send us any messages that you care to. And again, you can put comments in the descriptions below. And thank you very much to everybody who's been adding to the comment section today. And it's been wonderful, really great to see so much engagement going on, because that is the time we're in now. It's really just looking forward to stepping in and pulling this community ever closer, because that's where, we get the joy of sharing this, because we're all individuated jigsaw puzzle pieces, right?
Yes, yes, that is correct.
And one thing again, the newsletter, anybody who wants to join our newsletter distribution list, use that same thing to get to us, just to tell us what your email address is, and you can be added to that distribution list. One of the things I really love about the newsletter these days as well is balancing it out. And one of the reasons I love it is because I select 3 funny short videos to put on there, typically 3. And honestly, I end up I am in floods of tears of laughter. So the good thing is we have the show there. We have the meditation split out from the show as well. So for those who would care to go through the meditation, as many times as you like, because it's all about building and practice, then that's there for you as well. But we have that as well, where we basically bring you 3 things which kind of bring you back to the joy of life, to the love, to the laughter, and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah. Okay. Other than that, on Thursday, we will be hopefully going to do our Thursday meditation again, the Pam Gregory guided meditation, which, it's great to have you guys with us for that as well, for those who can make it. And for those who can't make it at that specific 7 p.m. UK time, which is very understandable given that it's the middle of the working week, by joining energetically at a time to suit you, it still works. The quantum wave structure still receives your elevated energies, and it's helping to shift that quantum wave structure that surrounds the planet every single time. So anything else we need to add here, Jolie?
As always, like, share, and subscribe so that we can get the word out about Elevated Planet. And don't forget that this work that we do is a practice. It takes time and it takes a little bit of focus. So don't give up. I think Napoleon Hill, he was like, don't get 3 feet from gold. It's like, we're almost there. Keep digging, keep going. It gets better.
Yeah. And I think events will take place around us that will kind of bring more focus to, or more focus to the awakening and the remembering process. Again, that's a word that Karina used there as well, which is why we do our newsletter, which is called Elevated Planet and the Great Remembering, because that is exactly what is going on. And it's great to have so many learned healers and various people on their own journeys within our community. I just love it. I know we haven't got an audience of thousands, but we have got the right audience. We have got people who are part of what we do, and I love that.
Yes. Thank you very much to our community. We really are very grateful.
Yes, indeed we are. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. We are going to sign off for this week. And for those who can make it on Thursday, then we will see you there. Other than that, we should be around again next Sunday to spread the wisdom of many people and add our community comments to it as well. So thank you all. Have a wonderful week, and have a wonderful 18th of February, which is not going to hopefully create any great earth rifts, and we will see.
Yes, we shall see. Thank you.
Take care. Bye all.